this meeting.
Okay, we will call to order the November 11th, 2025 regular meeting of the Tuscarora Township Board of Trustees. And will you please join me in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Here.
Here.
Lori?
Here.
John?
Here.
Laura? Here.
I can't hear up front.
Can't hear. Any board member conflict of interest? No? Public comment on agenda items? Yes, ma'am. You might have to push your own button. Seriously.
Okay, how's that?
Good.
Okay, I brought my handy dandy trusty zoning ordinance 200 with me. I noticed on, in the board packet that there is the food truck ordinance is in there. It was not on the agenda, but it's in the packet. And I know that I've talked a couple other times about this. So the food truck ordinance for Tuscarora Township is actually in zoning ordinance 200. It's an overlay. There's a section here about it. And this has to be approved by the county commissioner. So any changes that you would make, you'd want to work with the county planning and zoning. Because once they bless it that it's all legal, the verbiage is legal, then they will submit it to the county commissioners for approval.
Oh,
I
okay.
just wanted to bring that to your attention, so maybe you might want to wait to talk about it instead of that, to talk to Mike Turris or someone planning.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Any other public comments? Okay, public comments on agenda items is closed. Approval of meeting agenda, and with that, I would propose that well, it's not on the agenda, that's my mistake. So pull out the food truck ordinance from tonight's agenda because it's not on the agenda. And I also propose we pull out item 9G, CIP updates. Not ready for that. And then I have a typographical error, item 9C, where it says RFP for O&M. The RFP should say, and it should say, that whole line should state extensions, contract extension for O&M. Those are my changes.
I'd like to add to the agenda, we could put it on in new business, 10G. I just, I'm gonna ask for a cash transfer.
What was that?
10G, add an item that's gonna, I'm requesting a cash transfer.
Okay, so we added 10G. Any other changes?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the additions and changes.
I'll support that.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the minutes from October 14th, 2025, regular meeting. Any changes to that?
I have no changes.
Are you good down there?
Yep, oh yeah,
I'm sorry, that's okay. Are you good? Yeah, no changes?
I'll motion to approve the, October 14th regular minutes as submitted.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
And all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Reports. Do we have Steve Corporon? Did we look? Hi. Come on back up.
Good evening, Steve Corcoran from Performance Engineers. Thanks for letting me speak again tonight. Updates first. The wastewater treatment plant, the blower addition, the walls are up, they're painted, the roof's on, concrete slabs been poured, and today the blower number 3 was moved into that space. Verified the clearances were adequate for code, and they should be starting on stainless steel piping tomorrow, hopefully by the 24th. Electrical will be going in sometime next week. The ceiling should be insulated and placed next week. The hope is that it will be essentially finished before Thanksgiving, and then up and running sometime in early December if all goes well. So that's going well. There's a change order on your agenda tonight to reroute the decant lines from the 2 sludge tanks, one from the old part of the plant, one from the new part of the plant, to the head of both of those plants to provide freeze protection, and also adding a water line, a 2-inch water line and a hydrant. Right now, there's no good adequate water there that the garden knows, basically. So when they have to do a major wash down, they have to actually have water brought in from that. So adding the water line will pay for itself in the first year, basically. But the plant's been running since it started, the old part of the plant, so it's never really been drained the whole thing in work times. But now with 2 sides to the plant, that would be able to do that a lot more frequently. But they can wash it down when we need to do something to clean the tank. But that change order is on for tonight. They're anxious to get going on that, so Trudy's going to let me know if it's approved tonight, so we can let the contractor know on that. Any questions on that change order?
If anybody, I don't know if you have really even had a chance to look at it, maybe you have.
I'd rather do it online.
Oh, sure. Okay.
I would assume a good trustee has read everything before they get to the meeting, so that's why I'm here to answer. That's why I'm here to answer questions. There's also 3 pay requests on there. The big news right now is that from the last meeting, mid-October, you approved the pay requests for all of the September work. And then we've been getting those into USDA the very next day, which we're going to do tomorrow for the pay requests tonight. Then once USDA's been pretty good about approving those in a couple of days, and then Trudy and Chris can get into the EPA for the phase 2 contracts, because they're the follow agency. USDA is the lead agency. So they don't both have to approve the pay request US EPA kind of defers to USDA that they've vetted it. But anyway, but because they've been on furlough, they have not been paid for that September work, and now they're not going to be paid for this October work when we get that in tomorrow. So Walton did have to make the difficult decision to pull off the job a couple of weeks ago. They didn't do it lightly. They just couldn't afloat that much, free work for now. They know they'll get paid eventually, but they've started work on another job in Manistee, and it's going to be a 4 to 5 week job. Their original plan was to dig in the lift stations for South and Mack Avenue during November and then get them plumbed in December. If the shutdown is resolved later this week, there's a chance it will be. I talked to the owner today. Weather permitting, they plan to, when they're done with the Manistee job, come up here and start working on those lift stations this fall. Either a little bit before Christmas or right after Christmas, depending on when the Manistee job ends and what the weather forecast looks like. So they hope to come back. It's not guaranteed, but we'll have to wait and see. Their subcontractor for doing the drilling for the force mains under Witt Avenue and also for the force mains out at the western end of Barbara and then out and on Sturgeon Island is still planning to do some work. They postponed it a couple of times. Their current plan is to mobilize their equipment this Friday and start drilling those force mains next week under Witt. And then once they're done with that, then shift out to western Barbara and then out to Sturgeon Island. That's all subject to change, especially with the weather. But they're willing to do work knowing that Walton's not going to pay them either. So, but I think they're also looking, since they haven't started the work yet, say they do the work in the next few weeks, that would be for your December meeting. Hopefully things are resolved by then so they would get paid in a timely fashion. But Walton just couldn't stick it out there any longer. They really had to pull back. So,
They thought they could get that payment through. He wasn't able to do that.
I never said
No,
that.
no, when he was in here, I didn't think his name down, but I thought they could get Aaron. No. USDA.
Oh, Andy.
Yeah.
No, Aaron reached out to Andy and to see if we could.
We've been trying to work back channels using personal cell phone numbers that we have, and it's gone radio silent.
Yeah, nobody's answering anything.
Yeah. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So,
Yeah, no money flows anywhere unless the USDA sends
Yeah,
it first. So.
Anyway, Matt's is still continuing to do hookups because most of that is private contracts. Some of the work they're doing, when they stick a grinder pump in, we do, that is part of the contract. And that's one of the pay requests tonight is for putting a couple of those in. But they're still working. Right now, we have 26 connections that have been completed in phase 1. 20 by Matt's and 6 by Mike Troop. Mike Troop is backed out for the season now. He went back down home. He's going to reassess if he's going to continue doing them next year. He'll probably do some. He's not sure how many. A wrinkle that came in here while he was working is that the county soil erosion control guy came around and said, no, you guys need permits if you're within 500 feet of the lake or a stream, which is a lot of the properties in phase 1 and 2. You need to get a soil erosion control permit. The good news is, it's all online. If it's there, you or your contractor can do that. The bad news is it's a $150 permit. So it's adding to the cost for the homeowner, which sucks. But if you're going to disturb less than 225 square feet of earth, you can file an affidavit saying that it's less than that. And that form is a 1-page form. It's in the same place online. I give those information to the township. So those 4 hot links on the front page of your website, all this information is in there now. But 225 feet, if it's a gravity dig in, usually that's about 8 feet wide as they dig it in of disturbed earth. So if it's going to be less than about 22 or 23 feet, you should be able to file out a permit. But you have to file this affidavit. So you have to file something no matter what, whether it's a permit with a check or an affidavit without a check. So the costs are also going to go up a little bit. If somebody needs, if one of the contractors needs to use a silt fence, if it's a property right down by the water, they might require a silt fence. It'll be a little more attention to detail, not just throwing some grass seed down when you're done, but mulching it out with straw or something as well, which most people would do anyway, but it would be a requirement on the permit. So just another wrinkle that's been added in, which the county would have pointed this out when we were working with them 8 months ago as we put all this information together. But they neglected to do that part. I think we paved after last meeting, so the paving went well. They got it all done in one day. Things seemed to go fairly smoothly. And everything's been put back together. Anything that doesn't grow back, they'll be touching up in the spring as they're working on the other areas as well. But for the most part, I thought things looked fairly decent down there. Miss anything, Trudy?
I don't think so. The ribs are done, 3 of the 5.
Oh, yeah, the rapid infiltration basin or ribs. There's 5 of them out there at the wastewater plant. They're big sandy detention ponds, basically, where they rotate where the effluent from the plant goes. One to this ribbon for a while, then to another ribbon, that. But they've been overgrown. They just haven't been maintained enough in the last several years. So this is not part of the contract work. They did it separately, but it was done by GFL. They did 3. They came out. They looked good. The material looked good. They didn't have to bring in any more material. They came in less than what had been quoted to the township. But I've checked them out. Things are really good there. They need another 2 done next year, and then hopefully doing a little more annual maintenance on it, whether it just be a good brush hogging and rototilling or something. That can be done. I'm not talking about a hand rototilling, someone walking behind. It's something that they can just get them all done in a day. That should work out fairly well. I feel like I'm missing something.
I'm looking at my notes. Oh, did you want to talk about phase 1? The manhole covers, we're still waiting on.
Yeah, we have 26 people connected. All of phase 1 can connect now, with the exception of the 16 properties that will be flowing into the Arthur Street lift station. We needed to upgrade those to the hatches in those concrete tops need to be vehicle rated instead of pedestrian rated at the request of the property owner adjacent to where the lift station is there, because they want to have a driveway that goes through there. Those lids showed up several weeks ago on the flatbed truck from the supplier. They pulled up. They were 7-foot diameter lids for 6-foot diameter structures. So they got sent back. They chiseled them out, cast them in new lids. Those lids are ready to go. We're still working with the property owner right there to allow us onto the property to get those lids set back on. But as soon as we get those set on, that lift station could run right now. We just don't want to do the work on the lift station if it's dirty. We'd rather keep it clean and get everything done. We have to reroute our vent line as well. So that's what we're holding off on that. We're hoping to get that resolved soon.
The only other item that was discussed at the sewer meeting was the number of contractors available,
Oh, that's a good point.
seemingly willing to participate in the hookups.
Right. It was brought up. If you do the math, I'll use Mike Troop as a good example. He was hoping to get 2 hookups done a day for a couple of weeks while he was up here. When we dug in his laterals last fall, when Elmer's was doing the work down there on the pipe, he's got 3 properties right there. It was historically dry last year, and we left those laterals dry. The water table was down below where we did the excavations. Then when he dug them up this fall, they're about this much wet. So he really just can't dig up a couple, properties at once, leave those trenches open. He's got to use boxes and pump the water out, and he just doesn't have enough to do 2 or 3 trenches at a time. And so he's kind of scaled back his expectations when he comes back in the spring. He'll be a little more selective on who he's going to agree to hook up. and how many he can do in a day, probably just one, so probably can bank on it. And he'll have to bump his cost up, mostly because of extra deep water he knows he's gonna need now, and for things like this unexpected, soil erosion permit, and possibly doing silt fences around there. So Matt's was hoping to do a couple a day. They've been averaging about one a day. Some days they'll get two, some days they'll get none completed, they might get two partially completed, but they've been averaging about one a day. And no one else has started doing anything yet. A couple have been thinking about what they're gonna be doing next year. I mean, nobody is anxious to get going right now, being late and wet this time of year. But when you guys start talking about when you set your start of the 12-month time, you have 12 months to hook up from whatever this date is. The people at the 6 o'clock meeting were hoping that you would understand that with the contractors that are interested in doing it right now, the math just won't work. Not everybody can hook up in 12 months. Unless more contractors get interested and more contractors start doing the work. So just food for thought.
That was a very good point. Yeah. That's all I had on my notes.
Any questions on the pay request? Any questions on that change order? Any questions on anything I spit out at you just now? Anything you've been burning to ask me, but I'm just.
You've been around, you've been on.
Yeah, I haven't been on for a while, trust me.
I know.
I have been spending more time down in Mansalona. We have a big water project we're working on.
Yeah. I do not have any questions. Does anyone else have any questions? No?
Do you need me to stick around or am I released?
Or do you plan to stick around for the, no? No.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, we'll see you. Okay, super update with Mean Hut. Do we have a Mean Hut rep here? No, we do not. Okay. Bills.
Invoice register in the meeting packet shows 55 bills in the amount of $89,354.60. I handed each of you an updated one because I added, some got paid when I did it because they were supposed to be due. But I added the CSNA software one in there. And take that. I actually think.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
I support that. Who made the motion?
Sue, I second.
Any questions, discussions? No? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Treasurer's report.
Okay, in your packet, I can't tell you for sure what page it is, but treasurer's report, and then it says cash summary by bank for Tuscarora Township. And I wanted to let you know, that the general fund bills total $25,786.82. We have to have $623,250.98 available to pay our bills. So we have plenty of money in the general fund to pay our general fund bills. Same with, there's a small bill for police library and ARPA, they all have money.
The only, fund that is the sewer fund, and that's typical. Aunt Mary was talking about how when you're in a construction phase, sometimes that happens, but still, we have plenty of money in the general fund to cover any of those expenses until the USDA starts, sending money. So we're in good shape.
Well, and we are just holding those. Yeah, the contractors have been very, understanding, yeah. I remember and I made notes, in October, we talked about, there was a discussion about when we approved the bills for payment in October, the Plant Moran bill, a breakdown of that. I wondered if you would talk about that a little bit. Just as far as what they did, what we learned, and moving forward.
So, as you know, we hired Plant Moran to help us get our banks reconciled and start digging into the general ledger, get ready for the audit. And they worked about 50 and a half hours on bank reconciliations. And I talked with my deputy, Rachel, who's also been working on that, and she said, yeah, that was about that's what she felt was accurate. And then there was just a couple of hours of talking to us about questions we had. And then, of course, it took a little time to get them set up in BSNA. So they had to dial into our network on one of our computers to get into our database. So that had to be set up because it's got to be secure. And so Annabon handled all that. But yeah, they're in and they have got so much great stuff done for us. We're looking really good. Actually, yesterday, was it yesterday or was it today? Rachel already had the pool account balance. So today's only the 11th, and the bank statements didn't come out, so it's already balanced. And that's always that's the account that's hard to balance. So she's got it under control. So that's kind of cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Probably irritating you.
And KCI, we talked about that last month.
That's who prints all of our bills, our tax bills. So once I get, equalization was off today, but when she comes back in, we'll get, our special assessments transferred over, and then I send it to her, and when she and I balance, then I send them off to KCI. But we're all set with them, they have their money, so they're happy, and last year at this time, we're not in such great shape, but.
And then we also talked about last month moving money from our R9 to help pay for pumps and communications and moving money for the quarterly RR9 payments for the USDA bond agreement.
And I did those, the next morning I did those, and then kind of interesting, so these RR9 payments for $7,700. Well, once I made the past ones, then I just set up every quarter, they'll automatically transfer, so we don't have to think about it. If I'm not here for some reason, every quarter it's still gonna transfer, so, I didn't realize we could do that, I just went in and dug around in the bank, so we are good to go with that, too.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Do we have a motion to accept the treasurer's report? Maybe, yeah.
I'll move that motion.
Thank you. In a second?
I'll say.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Correspondence, we had one bit of correspondence came in this week from the Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs. It's a transfer of ownership of a liquor license from Wilson's River's Edge Restaurant to Jake's River's Edge. So that's the only correspondence we've had. The airport, no report. Ken is out ill. I never thought to ask Doug Piper. I was going in the assessor's office. He's busy. Just in general. I remember asking. DBA, Sue, can you give us an update on
I
that?
was not,
Oh, that's right. You were gone.
I was, I'm with Kelly.
We've had 4 FOIA requests. Library. Kelsey.
Hello.
So, okay. Hi, everybody. All right, so I just have a couple things. So tomorrow in this room will be the Remembering the Edmund Fitzgerald presentation. So it's not just covering the Edmund Fitzgerald, it's shipwrecks in general too, but it's in commemoration of the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald 50 years ago on November 10th, 1975. So you can sign up on our website to attend, but you don't have to, it just secures your spot. But when there's space, there we will let people in. It's tomorrow night, 6 to 7 p.m. And we also are doing Christmas in Indian River, and that's the day after Thanksgiving, November 28th. We will have 7 craft stations this year set up. It starts at 4 p.m. and goes until the parade starts at 6. And we will also have a station for writing your letter to Santa, and you may get a response if you put your address. So you don't have to sign up, you can just show up and have fun. And the Friends are doing a special that night where if you go in the book sale, you can get a buy one, get one free coupon to buy a book and get one free in the book sale room. So also a couple more things. Tuesday, December 2nd, all day long, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., we're doing Find Forgiveness Day. It is Giving Tuesday, and we thought we'd give back. So if you have overdue fines, then come on in and we will wipe those clean for you. And you can start with a clean slate. That does not include fees from damaged or lost materials. That's separate. But if you just were late on an item for a few days or whatever, then we will wipe those clean for you. And I also want to thank all of those who donated very generously towards our Reading Garden project, including very kind individuals, the Burt Lake Preservation Association and the Women's Club, and the Friends of the Library for arranging our August fundraiser. We have reached our goal of $50,000, and we are currently on track to begin construction in the spring, so stay tuned for more Reading Garden updates. So, thank you. Anything?
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
You're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
I want to say congrats too on.
Oh,
Yeah, thank you. I did. Yeah, I got married. So I still need to change my last name, but that'll come at some point. But yeah.
And it was an adventure.
So I got married and then I got back from 3 weeks in Scotland. So I am back. I'm happy to be home. It was beautiful, but I mean, it's just really nice being here. So thank you.
Congratulations. Thanks, Kelsey. Okay, Parks. Mr. McInnes.
I'm Pat McGinnis, speaking for the Parks Commission. At our last meeting, which was 1 week ago, we had a public presentation from Christmas in Indian River group. They're proposing to do a circle of trees, and we actually advised that since the area known as the green across the way here is actually township controlled, that they come back to the township to talk to them about it. It would be something that would not really affect this year's Christmas in Indian River, but it would in future. So there's some time to work up on whether that's a good idea or not. DeVoe Beach bathroom updates, we're looking at, instead of going with pre-constructed, very expensive things, maybe going with a Amish style shed, insulated and having running water and stuff from that to hook to the sewers. That has not been decided yet. Veterans Pier, we had a massive erosion problem right out at the far end of it, just where it's widened. We had that repaired. The repair was done quite well. And it's, except for the little difference in coloring of the rock and stuff, it's hard to tell there was ever a problem there. The ramp to the warming hut, we had the handrails and several deck boards were repaired. That cost about $400, but it's going to give us a couple more years to use the ramp to the warming hut. before we have to worry about anything else on that. We've got a study going on the boat launch for lighting. And we're having a light impact survey done so that whatever lighting is done at the boat launch will not affect people across the river, hopefully. We have a few items for sale. I'll be submitting pictures to the township tomorrow. We have a scoreboard, one of the old scoreboards. It's a non-functioning scoreboard, but it's in very good condition. The tank is in very good condition. It'd be a nice thing to put in a garage or someplace. And it wouldn't take much to get the lights work. It's just a communication between the controller and the board. So someone could have a nice little scoreboard. That's going to be $200. Or best price we get, first come, first serve. Then we have, I believe it's 3 hobby horses on springs, and we're going to be asking $50 for each of those. There's 3 of those. The pictures will be up and stuff by the end of the week on the township website and social page. We updated baseball field contract with the high school. It was pretty much standard from what we've had in previous years. It's very flexible so that we can change things, they can change a few things, but it will all be coordinated with Doug. Speaking of Doug, he helped the DDA and he did the sidewalk sealing. That was completed. The DDA paid for his time and materials and stuff. We discussed the proposed 2026 fireworks committee. And Kelsey, just for your information, we're going to be approaching you after the first of the year, asking you to maybe get someone from the library on board, but we're looking at doing at least a 2-day firework this year, since this will be the 250th anniversary. We're thinking fireworks on Friday night, the parade on Saturday, something in the afternoon to keep people downtown, doing some dramatic readings like the preamble to the Constitution, Gettysburg Address, Washington's first speech to Congress, recreations of those. We hope to live stream all of that for those who can't make it, or people who some are here at times but won't be here during that period. And we're going to be asking the township to maybe appoint someone from the township board to take part of it. And we're going to ask the chamber. We're looking for at least 2 citizens out of the community because we want this to be a community event. Fireworks community, we got that. Green docks. We're going to change the arrangement on the green docks a little bit. We had quite a bit of discussion last summer with swimmer safety. And one of the problems that's been identified is if the docking area is full and an emergency happens, law enforcement, fire department and stuff has no quick access to the river. So the area where the ladder is now, we're going to mark off a little area or section of the dock that is for law enforcement only. Especially during the boat races, the fire department sets up one of their bases there and the ambulance sets up a base there. But people come in, tie up boats and stuff, and if something did happen, which did happen about 8 years ago, we had a real bad accident right there. It took them an extra 5 minutes to get to the people. And one of the people, as I recall, was injured so bad they spent 6 months in the hospital. So the other person was pretty well messed up. So we're going to be doing that. It's going to be marked. It will be law enforcement only. We have put up a notice of swim area signs both upstream and downstream at the docks. And this spring we will be attaching solar powered flashing lights on those signs to draw attention to them. And the final thing is we went with a different dumpster service. We bought a dumpster That's now in effect out there, and, well, not now, it will be the 17th is when the official transfer takes place. Any questions?
No, they're busy.
We try, we try.
Yeah.
We've got a couple other parks commissioner here, they are very engaged in the community, and, it's nice to have them show up.
And you do still have an opening on
We
parks.
still have one opening, and, it's a volunteer position, but we're still looking.
Okay, good, thank you.
Your mother should have said that with the DDA.
Yeah, go ahead, Deb. We'll make shameless plugs.
Yeah, there's, an opening on the DDA, that looking for, anyone that might be interested in stepping up. I guess we should get some out on the website.
Now, Pat, for parks, it can be a township member at large. Anyone over the age of 18?
No, we would like student involvement.
Okay.
We're getting old. We need fresh ideas.
Yeah, all right, so we'll work together, we'll get something
Bring
right
in the
now.
kids.
Yeah, and then, Sue, DDA, are there some particulars?
Oh, I don't have it.
I know,
It's not as strict as what we originally thought after, rereading those bylaws. But, I'm not gonna quote it.
well, they can call the office and we can look it up or call a DDA member, and I think that is on the website, if they're buried somewhere.
I have those bylaws right on my desk at home.
Yeah. And parks,
We're gonna get something put together, Karen.
okay. Lots of things happening here, looking for many hands. Police report is attached. Gordon is not here. Gordon did sustain an incident at, his family camp where he sustained, burns to himself. He's doing well. He, is in and out of the office. He's back to work, hunting maybe off the table, I hear, right? But he's doing well. If you see him, you'll see him wrapped up. He looks, heavily sunburned, but he's doing okay. And we're all grateful. It could have been much, much worse. So,
Is Jonathan taking over his prime hunting spots?
I thought you were gonna say cheer spot, I said absolutely not. Very hot spots, yeah.
so just continue to think about him and get your smoke alarms checked, check your connections on any propane items you have. To me, it was a bit of a freak accident. It truly was an accident, and it could have been so much worse. He's got some windows to replace and some other stuff, and he's gonna grow new skin and look like a brand new baby, but we're glad he's doing well. So again, the police report is there. I took a look last month. It's up a little bit. I don't see anything out of the ordinary there. Okay, old business, transient merchant ordinance.
I wish Steve was here right now, so that I could, explain that sometimes the trustee does not really speak everything, because I looked over this thing, I don't know how many times I've heard words, and totally missed the shall not include the following. I was looking for the word exemptions.
Yeah.
So, if it's okay,
Yeah, are you on though? Is your?
No, you're not on.
I was on, I turned it on.
You're on now.
You're on now, it's all you.
Okay. There are so many different ordinances online. Some of them look similar to what ours are. Some of them are so extensive that it's not us. So the only thing I did find, and actually it's from that same township, that I pulled the,
The application?
yes, the application, the SCIO township, I looked for the township. Anyways, they had a good exemptions from license that sounded good, and it starts, I handed it out,
Oh, right.
section 12 to 21, that's their numbers.
Oh, yeah.
But it just says exemptions, and I don't know why, I kind of like seeing it nice and big and bold like that. But if we could add that, and it continues on the other side, I crossed off some of the items that I don't think apply to us. I don't know if we want to totally update our ordinance or just add a little bit more, replace that A and B with the exemption. And I do question under the section G, triple I, and H.
You know, it's interesting you bring that up because that's lifted right out of the states that you provided us last month, the Transient Merchants Act 51 of 1925, under the definitions. And one of the things that I picked up on, and I think part of what has brought all this to be, is the boat races. You know, it's a big event. They had a food vendor there, but the question is, and I'm looking at, so to your point, this township that we borrowed this from went through and left out items, 4, 5, 6, whatever. But they particularly talk about selling at an art fair or festival or similar event at the invitation of the event's sponsor if all of the following conditions are met. And then they go through A, B, C, and D. And I'm just thinking, and they say if you're a governmental, if the sponsor is a governmental entity or a nonprofit organization.
Great.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, is for the boat races, they want to have food for their racers and teams. I don't have a problem with that. But would they be this? Would they be the food truck?
That's food truck,
Okay.
and our food truck does
It's
not,
different. Yeah, but it doesn't allow sales down
right.
there. So that's something we're gonna have to
I mean,
look at. But
I think again, the boat racers could hire somebody
no, I'm with you.
and do their own
Thing.
Right. Yeah, have it catered.
Right. Oh, right.
Yeah, that's something completely different. My batteries must be dead.
That's what Tom said.
Pardon me? I think I can talk loud enough to.
So do we, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking I would like to see, I guess maybe even just a retyping of it and clearing out this, but I would like to see some of these other exemptions spelled out the way this other.
Yeah.
Township did.
Okay, so
It's up, and that could be totally up to the attorney, or unless you don't, I mean, if you don't want it, then we'll just.
no,
say-
I'm in total agreement.
Sorry, well then,
No, I'm just.
No, that's okay.
Talking and-
I can get it, I really just didn't want to do all of the typing myself. If somebody can, oh, pardon me? Thank you, and then I can just type it and add it in.
And you want to add in section 1221 from this?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, this is such old fashioned,
Yes.
the foregoing notwithstanding, however.
Can we just put it in layman's terms?
I know, that's what I want.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay,
Okay, and that will be ready.
so do you wanna try to run it before an attorney before the next meeting, or bring a revised, retyped, fresh worded draft?
That's what I'll do.
Fresh worded for
Yep.
December, okay. Okay.
And I apologize for taking so long on that.
Okay. So we're just gonna table this and come back in December with some fresh, okay. Fresh verbiage. We need a motion on that? We just table it. And item 9B, RFP for legal, speaking of the devil. So in your packet, you will find 3 proposals for legal services for the township. Fahey Schultz, Foster Swift, and Kirk Huth. We currently use Rob Huth of the Kirk Huth agency or firm. A lot to read through. They all seem very well qualified, of course.
I'd like to make a motion to, accept Rob Booth's proposal.
Okay,
I second that.
okay. And discussion.
I have a few things. Rob Booth has worked with the township for a long time. He knows our township. He has property here. Even when I call him from the home, and he always responds. He doesn't charge us to come up here, and he's the lowest rate. Foster Swift is $310 an hour plus travel. Baby Schultz is $295 plus travel, and Rob Booth is $200 an hour. The only thing he's asking is that he wants a 3-year contract and 12/31/28. So it just, he knows our township very well, and he's done a great job.
I agree.
The only thing I would like to add is maybe the thought, I definitely stand behind Rob. It's very good to have somebody local who knows your community, representing you. I think the only thing I didn't ever have a chance to talk to him about is, should we ever end up in a big tax tribunal? Whether he has done that enough and is qualified, where he might recommend one of the other 2 firms.
Yeah, I agree, and I reached out to one of the other firms. They gave a list of references, and I did make a phone call, and everything that has been stated here was stated to me, but in addition to, if you needed a level of expertise that perhaps Kirk Huth didn't have, we could have a partnership with any other 4. And I think, I mean, we can ask Rob, but I don't see him saying no to that. Yeah. Any other discussion?
No, I think everything was pretty well discovered or disclosed. No, it makes me feel good that Rob's got skin in the game. He's got a home here. He pays taxes here. He's been a part of this community for quite some time. So, and 2, I mean, I guess reading through some of these packets, I don't know. They list off, how many attorneys they have at their firms. Are we going to get one specific attorney, or are we going to have a list of, who's ever available? And so Rob being, so personable with this area, we deal with Rob. So, and obviously he's $110 to $95 an hour cheaper. So,
Right. It was, yeah, I went back just to look at what we'd spent in legal bills, and it was just under $8,300 for the year. And it seems like a bargain to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Any further discussion?
Nope.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Oh, I'm sorry.
Does that include
Yes,
3-year contract?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
that
Just wanted to make
is,
sure.
yeah, that is how the RFP was written. Good deal. All right.
yeah, I'd like to thank you, the other two firms that showed interest.
Yes, yes. Well, and they were, MTA puts together a magazine, which we all get. And these are two of the firms that they do highlight in there, and they, of course, they advertise, and I think Kelsey, if she's not still here, your attorney is with one of the firms. So again, high caliber, and I know that you have speak highly of Ann Cernick. So again, we had some very high quality firms reach out to us. I'm quite pleased by that.
And Katie Schultz often has really good reports with MTA.
Yeah.
To see what was done.
And again, that's not to say if we didn't find ourselves in a situation like you referenced, to say, who could you refer us to? And he would do that, yeah.
I'm hoping I didn't cause any bad luck though on
Jinx,
tax
yeah,
review.
yeah. Okay, food truck ordinance has been pulled because it was never on the agenda. Okay, let's see, what do I have here? The contract, revisiting the meat and hunt contracts. Clear. Okay, so last month Tammy explained what it is that Meat and Hunt does for us, for our wastewater treatment plant, and the scope of services. I did pull the October 2024 contract where it details, and I apologize, board, for not giving you a copy of this. But in that 2024 contract, they outline the responsibilities or the scope that Meat and Hunt will provide. They would provide a Michigan Class A or B water operator. Anytime the operations aren't in compliance, they would notify the supervisor. They provide 24-hour, 365 on-call availability. They conduct immediate effluent, and monitor well sampling for all these tests that they're given here. Collect and analyze samples required by regulatory agencies beyond what they can do on site. They do have their own on-site lab. They operate the system in compliance with regulatory agency permit requirements. They report to regulatory agencies, submit all the forms, reports, notices, and I do get notified when things are coming due, and they do all the reports. And Sue, I think you can talk to the historic relationship that the township has had with the previous operator and where we've come from to where we are now.
There's no comparison. I mean, none. The first company that we had, our reports were filed. And it's really, really important with the state of Michigan through your school. So they stepped in, they got us all cleaned up, and they have met all expectations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's not easy to find someone with the license that they have. So.
Yeah, they are very hard to come by. And so that's the old contract. That's what we pay $6,800 a month. Now, the proposal is that this operations contract will go to $9,800 a month, but it includes the scope, which if you look, we'll say wastewater O&M 2025 on the second page at the top. It is amended to include the following. So it extends the contract from what it was, includes those, and to monitor the 5 new pump stations in phase 1. the Lake Street, the Arthur, Oak Glen, Pier, and South Prospect. Assist in monitoring the grinder and ejector pumps installed. They're on site for all of these. Assist the township with setting up the new asset management program, Silversmith. That's going to be crucial to staying on top of this stuff. Update preventive maintenance programs to include new equipment installed. They are also incorporating the asset management out at the plant because we have doubled our capacity and our equipment out there. Coordinate with contractors for the expansion and for the repair, update this dig. They're going to take what's called our as-bills that we will be getting from the engineers, and that will be uploaded into the Silversmith program. That's huge for Mystic. It helps keep our costs down. We pay somewhere between $20 and $25 per Mystic, something like that, which is a bargain. They do contract with other wastewater treatment plants, and it's $90 an hour to go out and find lines. So anyway, just to expand on what it is that they will be doing for us, the other contract that's up is the advisement for the consulting for the engineering, which is billed on an as-needed basis with one of their upper-level engineers. And that is at $90 an hour. We don't have to use it. It's just a contract that if we have a question on something, we can go to them and get a second opinion. I'll make a motion to approve these, both the operating, to extend the operating and maintenance contract with Mead & Hunt through February 28th of 2026 at a cost of $9,800 a month, and to extend the engineering consultation to February 28th of 2026.
I'll support that.
And discussion?
They do a great job, so I don't know that. Whenever we have questions, she just comes in and answers and.
Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Okay. Oh, update on the sewer rate study with Benzinski and Company. It's underway. That's where we are. Right. We're answering questions, sending emails back and forth. We're hoping to get a preliminary draft in the next couple weeks. Looking forward to that. Then boiler repair operations. I'm standing in for Gordon on this one. So last month he talked about the boiler. We have the heat exchanger go out on one. Control engineering, Control Solutions looked at it and tried to get it covered under the warranty, which they said no go. Failure was determined to be thermal fatigue. So with that having been said, I do not know the actual age of the boilers. We have two options. We can replace the heat exchanger, and they'll pull a permit, installation and labor, haul away and dispose the old heat exchanger, and is a cost to repipe the system to disconnect the water softener, and that is $26,410, but it's split three ways between the library, the police, and the township. So each entity would absorb a cost of $8,803.33. The second option is to replace the whole boiler, with the repiping to the tune of $46,205, split three ways, $15,401.67. That's what's up for discussion.
What is Gordon's recommendation?
Repair. He said he did not budget for any of this. None of us did. Kelsey, I don't think you did either.
No.
So we're all going to be going back and sharpening our pencils and looking at the budget. It has to be done.
I believe those are the original boilers.
Now, he seemed to think that they are newer, but
Maybe.
can we phone a friend?
I don't know anything about the age, but the heat exchanger is gonna be the most expensive repair on
Okay,
any HVAC unit.
okay,
But probably more so on a boiler.
Yeah, I
Just
thought it
something to
was-
keep in mind, if you replace just this, that doesn't cover a warranty any of the other parts on that boiler.
Right.
So we have an old boiler system, new heat exchanger, you could continue to have failing parts. And
Right.
continue expenses. I know not preparing for anything like this, ideally, I would put a new one in, and then you're good for the next 30 years. But just 2 cents there.
right.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure Gordon said, like, M&M worked on it in past 8 years, or possibly replaced it in past 8 years, or another time, but.
The whole boiler? Is that what
Yeah.
you're thinking?
Yeah, it's relatively new.
Yeah, that's what my recollection was from one of our meetings.
There's been so much work done.
Yeah,
Control Solutions have to be the ones that contract with them, or?
it doesn't have to be with them. We have a current service maintenance agreement. And Control Solutions was in here to do some work, and they took a look at it and said, it's not been being maintenance properly, for years, that this doesn't just happen. Is that correct?
Correct.
So we've got a deeper issue there. I don't know. I think because they did all of the other, they were here. I'm not opposed to getting another estimate.
So we had plumbing, HVAC, and
True.
But they know our system.
Yeah.
They just put it all in.
What did they, what,
So when they replaced all these, so we have these new state-of-the-art thermostats that didn't talk to the,
Right. that's Control Solutions that did that.
they redid all that, yeah. Yeah. So now everything, and we have control of our own system now. We can all dial in and turn up the heat, which I did today, and it works wonderfully.
Turned the air conditioning off in here today. I didn't think we needed to pay for air conditioning. So. Quick little turn the knob. Go downstairs and try to figure out.
What kind of work? Well,
Well, what are you talking as far as when it should be done? I mean,
I don't, Kelsey, help me, do you remember what he said?
As far as when it could be finished?
When it should be done, like how quickly? I mean, it's, winter's upon us.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're running with one boiler.
Yeah.
Um,
Space heaters.
Right.
Yeah. I'm thinking we need a building maintenance meeting.
Yeah, this week,
Yeah.
Thursday.
Thursday.
So we can,
just don't know if you want to wait for another meeting.
It's November, the windows are not open.
there, that's a good, yeah, I remember that.
Boiler, but the windows are open.
Right. Well,
Good thing you feel it from those
Yeah,
windows.
yeah. 2 weeks. Well, if we get another bid, do we, how much, I mean, I'll call around for estimates. I'm happy to do that. If they come in higher, I can call a special meeting at the time you're doing it.
your policy say $25,000 and have to offer?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Kelsey, is your board approved? Did you?
No, we've just talked, I just told them what's going on. Yeah. I think 3 bids would be wise.
Yeah. Okay, well,
Because we have the same bid policy as the township, so.
if it's over 25,000, does it have to be sealed?
I think, no,
All right, so this then, we'll put it out for bid and bring it back to the December meeting. Okay, is that what we want to do? Yeah, pack a sweater. We'll be all snugged up in there. Okay, so that's what we'll do on that. Okay. Drainage and trash service companies, and we're part owner of a beautiful new dumpster. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. But what's nice is, yeah, it is a significant savings. Well, that should pay for itself in the first year. Yeah, so that was a good move, yeah. And hats off to Parks for running point on that. CIP's off. Wastewater treatment cold storage, I received an email from Aaron on Thursday on the 6th. He was gonna try and have it out to us today, we did not get it, he is working on it, he is working on getting it within the parameters of the grant. So that is underway. Health insurance policy for potentially deceased employees. Jonathan. Did you get a copy in your mailbox? Did I get you?
With the little red, or the pink slip on it.
Yep.
So I guess my motion is gonna be, to review and send a proposed township policy, regarding healthcare coverage for employee, deaf, non-union, to legal. For review and possible adoption.
And I support that.
So, was there three non-union full-time employees?
Is it just in the township offices?
That receive health care.
Oh,
Yes.
right. Just that.
This,
Chief, Jeff Johnson, and Doug.
But chief and are covered under.
No, they're not. So, obviously, everybody that's in the union, which is also police department guys, will be under a separate clause to their contract. I did receive that LOU from the FOP rep. Get with the township, the PD's union steward, probably tomorrow. We'll do it with them. Some changes out there to it. And write it out between the two and for approval. So I guess the key things I want to hit on is, this is for an unexpected death. Somebody's been killed for 12 months and they finally passed away. Unexpected death. I just think it's the right thing to do to not have stress of the family of losing a loved one, and now yourself and your 5 children is going to be without health care in 2 weeks if it's at the end of the month. So, I think it's important, I'm certainly empathetic to that. So. The biggest thing too is obviously cost share. Free health care by means. The employee shall continue to contribute in cost share of said coverage. If the employee cannot contribute monthly cost, cost share, coverage will be terminated at the end of the budget. It's important that the employee, employee stays contributing to the cost share. Any questions or additions, corrections?
The only question or comment I had was in paragraph 2, do we need to say that the 90 days begins with the date of the death? So it's to differentiate between the beginning of the month. I'm asking.
Yeah, that's fine, I was like that Rob would,
Yeah.
sort of down there, so.
Right. Do you want to run it before,
Yes.
Rob? This will come back in December. Okay. Any other comments? All right. And the fireworks committee, we heard from Pat McGinnis. We're looking for 1 township joiner, 1 library, 1 from chamber, and 2 community, correct? Right? Yep.
At least 2 from the community.
Okay. Anyone expressing an interest through the poll that you did on socials?
Not yet. We have not pushed hard. We're waiting to get through the Christmas season.
Oh, sure, yeah, okay. And just as an aside, I have been in contact with Great Lakes Fireworks, who we used last year. And we had asked them for, to set the date for Friday, July 3rd with a budget of $15,000. And she's already warned us that we can expect to have to increase our budget by, at this point in time, $1,315 due to tariffs. They're still kind of holding their breath to see what's happening. So, anyway, this isn't it. Okay, so let's start spreading the news on that too. Or anybody who wants to come and help with that, what should be a really nice, fun weekend, full weekend. In July, on July 8th, we talked about budget amendments. I'm just asking, when did those get done? Okay. Oh, finally, new business. Sewer construction bills, we went over those, Steve went over those with us. So we have wastewater expansion for $61,657.20, which will be USDA and EVO and EPA. We have sewer expansion phase 1 low pressure system for $32,050.02. And the wastewater treatment plant change order to reroute the decant lines for $48,211.85 and add a 2-inch water line and a hydrant for $29,630.37. Any other? Your motion to approve these bills?
I'll make a motion to approve these bills.
Okay.
I'll support.
Discussion, questions, comments? No? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right. North Star. Proposed road abandonment. That's a huge factor in here.
Do you want my motion prior to discussion?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I didn't know how to, is that how to do it? So, I'll give my motion and then give my reasoning. I'll give my motion. I don't,
Then you can talk.
That's
That's fine.
My motion is to deny the road abandonment.
So. Do we have support for that?
I'll support that.
I don't know, I was about to ask.
What
Can someone
road is it?
explain?
No, we can discuss it. Yeah, okay, yeah. So, the motion so, go ahead, Sue.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we've been doing things a little bit
Yeah,
differently.
we're a little ways.
And, yeah,
So North Star Farms, North Star Gardens, not quite sure what they're, anyway, they have asked the township to abandon a section of the road. I should have had that big TV out here. Behind the coffee shop and their retail area, there's that road between Ken's Village Market, Embankment, and then their parking lot. And it goes down, and for those of us who have been in town for a while, it would go down to
Past
where.
Webb's Gym.
Yep, past Webb's Gym, and around the cabins and down to the river. Yes. And, in preparation for his expansion, proposed expansion there. That's what he's asked. It's not the entire road. It is 530 feet of Old Trail Lane, or also known as Sturgeon Avenue, whichever map you happen to look at. It is from about where the edge, the backs, you know where the garden center is at Ken's, like that back, if you were to bring that down, all the way down to, well, on here, it shows it ending, but it goes all the way down to the river. So if you're following that road, it goes to where two of the old log cabins used to be. And that's what he wants abandoned. His position is that, the road hasn't been maintained by the road commission for 20 plus or minus years. There are no residential homes on there. He does go on to say, there's no public benefit. Sturgeon Avenue / Old Trail Lane dead ends into the Sturgeon River. It's not a main thoroughfare through Indian River and is mainly accessed by customers of North Star Cafe. That's what he's proposing. You can't, yeah, I'm just explaining, yeah, absolutely, yep,
Okay, I have to let you know, so I don't stumble over my.
you're fine.
Public benefit to keep this as a road end on the water. In the past, there's been requests to abandon roads on the water before, and they've been denied. For example, Mack Avenue, Hiawatha, Ellinger. The previous board, there was talk about reserving those road ends for the public. I know, I grew up, my brother used to go down there and go fishing right there, on the Sturgeon River. People are on kayaks and whatever, and they get out of the water there sometimes. I just feel very strongly about not abandoning waterfront property that's owned by the taxpayers.
Other comments?
I drove over there too, just to check it out, and it does, I didn't get out of my car and walk down the stairs to see what shape the stairs are in, but there's stairs and a handrail still over there, behind that last little cabin, so.
Well, and my understanding is the old US 27, the bridge used to go across there. That was before my time, Ellen might remember if he was still there, we could ask him, but, and it was confirmed by the road commission that yes, US 27 was moved to where it is now. There was a bridge there. The road commission is, deferring to us. Mr. Jake Wade has yet to take his plan before planning and zoning at the county level. It does seem a little premature to ask for this before he's presented. It just seems a little premature. Well, anyway. Other comments?
No, I think it was very possible that I did not know that continued on to deliver. I had no clue.
I don't know about going around behind the building, but I didn't grow up here. I didn't come until I was in my 30s, so it's beyond playing with it.
Well, and I too played basketball at Webb's gym and didn't realize that the road went down there. I'm not a fly fisherman, so, yes, sir.
Just a question, if the road was officially abandoned, would that become their property by default?
Yes, it becomes his property, he then has to maintain it. So the road commission's take is, if we, the township, abandon it, they no longer plow it, salt it, sand it. They would do it from where Barbara comes down, that, it's down to about where the end of the garden center. That would still be county road. It would then, from that point on, be all his road to property to do with whatever he wants. In his plan, you'll see he has parking there for his establishment for his proposed development. Owning that, my understanding is, we have a planning commissioner here, help me. My understanding is if that is abandoned, of course, he would have to give the township utility easements because we have two sewer connections there. We would, one of the questions would be, would public access to the river be maintained there? You know, but if he sells it, all bets are off, but he wouldn't have to do
I was
that.
gonna say, if we abandon it, there's no right to go to that.
Right. I suppose if you were there doing the butterfly house or purchasing something or whatever else, you know, having a sandwich in his kiosk area. Anyway, if this is abandoned, his parking doesn't have to conform with the parking plan in the zoning ordinance, as I understand it. And
It still would have to conform to, you have to, it's not abandoned, but have to alter its parking.
yes.
You know, kind of split here. Early on, you know, how long has North Star Gardens been a part of this community? You know, how long has he been is this man for here? How long has he been improving the township? You know, whether residential, commercial. Obviously, he wants to put in another business platform, if you will. Supply more tax revenue, more tourism. Like so on the other hand, we're blocking off access to the river. Are there other access points? Yes. So I guess I do agree with you know, putting the cart in front of the horse here. I think if you would have gotten it approved by the planning commission first. You know, I mean, looking at some of these proposed buildings, I mean, they're pretty cool. Yeah.
My only concern is it's in the next, the next slippery slope. Once the township starts approving the abandonment of roads to our water.
Yeah, I mean, if this was, like I said, Mac Avenue, a source to Bird Lake, or, you know, a more around the area, but like I said, you know, for the last 27 years that I've lived here, you know, I mean, I've gone down that road, but other than the,
I had no clue when all the down the river.
well, I knew it went to the river, but I always thought it was owned by North Star Gardens and the cabins, you know, so. Like some toward, you know, to hinder or, you know, the growth of, you know, someone who's put in a lot to this community.
But let's see if he can, he's gotta get through all the steps to get all this stuff approved through zoning and planning, so. We can always revisit it another time, though.
But you have to alter its parking. That is the issue. They have to alter its parking plan that from what he wants. With the
Right. Yeah. My understanding from legal is if you say no, you can say yes later. If you say yes, you can't say no. And, you know, looking at his plan, and I am not in planning and zoning, altering his parking, would that stop his project? I don't think so. It's expensive, he's done a lot of work. It still has to pass muster with the county. And for vote. All in favor, say, oh, let me restate the motion. Let's restate that. So the motion made is to deny the road abandonment request made by North Star. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Who seconded that? Oh. Okay, that's good. Sewer ordinance, it's just, again, we talked about this at the sewer meeting. I included it. The ordinance the drop dead date for connection is 12 months following the date of publication of notice in a newspaper of general circulation. We have not made that date yet. We've not set that date. That will come in the future. Again, as it was said at the sewer meeting, and it was a very good point, if there are not enough contractors to put the laterals in, but a person is contracted with a contractor and has a signed contract, would they be allowed, grandfathered in if it were to exceed the 12-month period? I think that's something that's food for thought for the future as we move into having to set that date as per the ordinance.
On phase one, has letters gone out on that one?
No. So what you deem the sewer collection system to be. If you read section 2.1A, every kind of and character within the sewer district that are used or available for use of the household, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Connection of existing structures to a newly installed public sanitary sewer. You stop there. If you look above there, there's the definition. Public sanitary sewer. Where'd that go? It does not specifically state, it's on page 3. Sanitary sewer means a sewer which carries sewage. We were thinking it was the wastewater treatment plant. It just states when the newly installed public sanitary sewer is available for connection. Well, for phase 1, it is available for connection.
Right.
But the wastewater treatment plant isn't ready, although it is taking that. So if we're going to do this, it doesn't mean they can't connect. It just means when is the 12 months going to start? When's the clock going to start ticking? That's what's in the ordinance, is that 12 months.
When we talk about when the wastewater treatment plant is finished and up and running, that if all 400 new people can go on at one time, they can handle it.
Right, when the wastewater treatment plant, so.
That phase one, it's ready for phase 1.
So are you ready to set a drop dead date for phase 1?
I think you have to
12 months.
Well, winter's coming right now, nobody can go out for winter.
Well, I understand that, but that's 12 months. You still have to get a date, otherwise it's just going to be put out there. And you have a sewer plant that's running and needs revenue.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. No, this is exactly the conversation that needs to be had. Because, I see both sides of it. But agree to put in a sewer system, and the ordinance states everyone must hook up within 12 months of the publication date given by the township. And the only exception to that is the health department coming in and saying your system needs to be replaced. So, what's the motion on this? What do you want?
Give public more opportunity to know that we're gonna set the date in case they have something that they wanna have on it. I mean, not that they don't have any, but this is what they have to say.
Well, they do at every sewer meeting. We have to put it in the paper. Help me out with how frequently does the newspaper in Sheboygan publish?
It's a daily.
Oh, it's daily, it is, okay.
Not anymore, but
Laura,
What? When you have to have your ads and people after meeting? They only publish certain days, 5 days.
but what,
The days that they publish. You don't publish them on Friday. You think that's right up here? I have to look at my office.
so what's not in here is,
that's okay. I did not.
it doesn't say how much notice we have to give the public, it's just that we have to,
You have to have a letter that goes out that says it's ready, you can hook up, and
okay,
12 months. I don't think so. If it doesn't say it in here, yeah, you're sending the letter to say when the clock starts.
and we have to put it
Does
in
it say that in here?
the newspaper specified, not the letter.
I can't find it, I was just looking, it's still called the Sheboygan Daily Tribune, but their online presence is Sheboygan News or something, so. They want you to subscribe before they let you look at anything else.
So, we could, okay, so we could say by December 15th, everybody has to hook up. That gives them more than 30 days, it gives us a chance to get it in the paper. If, say today's Tuesday, and they don't publish, we can't get it there, and they don't only publish on Fridays or whatever. Gives us a bit of wiggle room, and gives us time to get the letters out.
So your hookup date would be December 15th.
Of 2026 for phase 1. Well, yes, of course it would.
And everybody would know January.
Yes,
Instead
yes,
of the 15th.
yes, it would. Yep, yep.
We got to work for me to try to get finished and upload them.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
I don't see anything about 2 weeks in here,
You know,
I'll make the motion to have phase 1 sewer hookups complete by January 1, 2027.
2027 or 26? Oh, yeah, sorry, my mistake. And do we have support for that? I'll support that. Okay, and any additional discussion on that?
Doing in the paper and letters,
Yes.
I do realize we don't have current owners.
I'm sorry?
We'll have to work on current owners' addresses, we don't have.
Okay.
Why not? I'm not trying to be, see, I'm just,
There's been a lot of house sales recently.
okay, so we don't have the new deed stuff yet. Okay, that's what I'm asking.
But we can get the bulk of them out
You need to vote, absolutely.
and then have it just a particular file. Okay, so motion on the table to set the mandatory hookup date for phase 1 sewer to be January 1st of 2027. Made by Jonathan, supported by Laura. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. I have credit card down here, but really I wanted Laura to have an opportunity to explain her, she has a process, a new process or revised process, not new.
And I don't even have a revised process, it's the one that's been in place for a long time.
It's the control system.
And I'm not sure, do you have questions?
Well, can you just go over it? You don't have to go through each bullet point. It's just, yeah, it's a lot. Just explain what happens from the moment a piece of mail comes into the office. Just run us through. You're a piece of mail. I'm a piece of mail. What happens to it? They get open.
You get invoices.
I get stamped.
But like Karen or Chris get the mail, and they open them up and they stamp receipt dates on them. And then they put them in whoever's inbox they need to go,
Okay.
except for the bills.
Okay,
Those invoices go to Chris.
okay,
She, writes the GL numbers on them.
Okay.
Leaves them to me, or she'll put them in my invoice, or in my inbox for me to approve them. And then I take them to her, and she'll invoice me the BSNA. And then on every Friday I do payables.
okay,
And that's just, and then I put them in Lori's inbox, I text her that payables are ready.
Okay.
And it's every Friday, unless there's something that needs to be done earlier, like for the sewer, then I come in. People text me, call me at my other job, and we got sewer checks that need to be done, I come in after my other job and I get them done.
So as a cover, do you date an initial when you receive them or when you return them to Chris? I mean, I think that I would,
I
If that
haven't,
is-
I haven't.
if that is the procedure, that it comes to you prior to being put into the computer and processed. I mean, so, run back and forth.
yeah, no,
Am I making sense?
yeah, you are to me, so.
So you want me to date each one that
Well,
I
I'm
sign
just
it?
saying that,
Well, do you initial each one though?
I initial each one.
So if you just put the date on it, or do you have a date stamp,
I don't have a date stamp, I have to get one.
maybe you can write the date on, but some way so that we know, or you know, when you look at it and you need it back.
should invoices become late, where is the, disconnect?
Yeah.
Check and balances. I come in on the weekend, and I sign all the checks, put them all in the ballot, put them in envelopes, meter them, and then take them to the post office. And what I have been doing recently, since we got a couple late bills, is I take a picture. So you can see I'm at the post office, and here's the date, time, here's the envelopes going in there. But you have to understand that the mail is a mess. We had 2 checks that people didn't receive, so we voided them, and then all of a sudden, boom, they received them. So it's not always a breakdown in the processes here. You know, they get into the mail, and sometimes that happens. As far as the big bill, the credit card bill, I think by the time it goes through all the different departments, it may be kind of short. And I think that I need to watch that closer, and if it's 5 days before it's due, maybe I just drive it up to Sheboygan and drop it off at PNC instead of trying to trust the mail. And I dropped off something from across the woods. There was a lady wanted this package. She was in Sheboygan. I dropped it off in Indian River. It went to Grand Rapids, some place, another place in Grand Rapids. Then it came back to Traverse City. Then it came back to Gaylord. I mean, it was Indian River to Sheboygan. They don't do that anymore. So, I mean, I had just had a gentleman call today, and he said that original check was dated in September, and you didn't get it until after, after September 30th, there's additional penalty, interest on their payment. So, and I said, I'm sorry, sir, whatever the date is, the date stamp, from Grand Rapids, so I will be more, I will watch the due date closer as I look through them and see if it is coming up, knowing what the mail does, and I can run some. I mean, I look for 74 cents a piece, I can run the Indian River hardware
check out to them instead of sticking it in the mail for 70 cents.
Chris, you know, I mean, if there's ever a bill that comes in and it's, you know, sometimes we get them and then they're not due the next week, just call me or text me when I have a job. I can swing by and run a table. It takes me 5 minutes. You know, because I leave at 4 o'clock and I have a job. There's no problem to be here.
Okay, good, thank you. Okay, election workers, we just had an election. How did that go?
Long.
Well, yeah,
It wasn't fine, but it was wrong because it wasn't a very big election.
oh, so
Just because it was on, yeah,
I mean, slowly,
yeah.
okay.
I'm just shut a hot filter, but I understand.
So, we had, election workers, how many election workers did we have?
9 total, including me.
Okay. And what did we pay them?
$20 an hour. And that was what was agreed upon in the election commission's meeting.
Yeah. Now, there's some discussion as to whether the board has to approve that.
Well, there was a law, an FCL number stated on this board packet paper. It's 168.228. The law is actually 168.26, it's a correct MCL number. And I think it's an assistant may receive compensation as may be fixed by a township board or the legislative body. This is where you. So,
Well, and I was I looked it up in the Little Red Bible and they referenced 168.28. But just so that we're all on the same page, we did meet as a commission, election commission. Laura had all the applications for all the workers there for us to review. And she had last year's rate of pay, or last year's, whenever the last election was, reviewed last year, and made a proposal for rate of pay of $20 an hour, which was approved by the election commission. Okay. Office coverage. Does anybody know if we have a policy on it? Because it's a bit slow this time of year, but it's crazy in the summer with regard to people coming in and the phone ringing. I've not found one yet, particularly in the policies regarding when we close and who covers and how.
I don't think there's a policy on that, but it is on the list of job duties for each job title
Okay, where would we find those?
in my office.
Okay.
So it is responsibility of the office assistant and the office admin when the assistant isn't available. But like before, when I worked at the township and I was the office assistant, if I couldn't get to the phone or the window, or I was off that day because I remember part-time, Mike and Bobby and Robin handled it. Mike would come out and answer the window all the time. So we have plenty of people in there to cover that. But it's in their job duties.
Okay. Okay, so they need to communicate.
Well, it's been that way.
Well, we've run into some instances where somebody wants time off and the other person doesn't know. I'm just saying, it's nice, and I know you have the wipe off calendar in your office, but that's not always available to me or to other people. So I've been trying to write my days that I'm out on the little calendar in the front office. Right. Okay. So, just so that people know where I am.
We should do a wipe-off calendar that will hang up in the common area for all of us.
Or just say, put it on there.
We used to have a wipe-off one, and where Chris sits now, it was the printer room, and we had a wipe-off calendar in there before we got our texting and took our calendar for the meeting room line and everything. But people would write on there, and it was for everybody that could see, oh, this person, you know, it was just, it made it easier.
Sure. Yeah.
And then that way, everybody knows what's going on.
Because I don't always know, I put my calendar on my door when I'm gonna be there, when I'm not.
But, like if I knew that she was gonna be off and Karen for the thing of 10, then I would come in at, I would have Tom come in at 9.
I think the light off calendar in the tournament is a good idea.
Who's coming in to open tomorrow?
It's got another
You're
job.
off.
Huh?
Are you off?
I don't have a key, open the door, so I can't get in.
Why don't you have a deal?
You took it from me today.
I'll put my off.
That was the key I used to get in the building.
I won't get you.
Sorry. Okay,
So somebody will put that wipe off calendar on the office supplies request list.
Oh, that's new?
There you go.
Are you gonna take it out of there? You can lock it up.
It's, no, you can have it, it's January 2026 through December 31st, 2026. I kinda wanted to, get it right now for July 1 to it.
Oh, we want crystal.
But that's okay, I haven't been using it since July, in July 1, I haven't had one, so you might as well use that one, and that'll solve that real quick.
Okay. Public comments. Done? Board comments.
Motion to adjourn.
Agreed. 8:51. No, what time?
No, 8:51.
No, we forgot one.
So the cash transfer,
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay, I was making notes.
We're not adjourned yet.
Reconvene.
One last thing, real
We
quick.
have to say the pledge and everything all over again.
I don't know exactly how that's, I don't know how that's actually.
You want to adjourn?
We didn't. We didn't vote on it.
You don't vote on it, motion to adjourn.
So we have to.
I'll withdraw my motion.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Laura.
It's okay, I was making notes, I wasn't paying attention. So this is my addition to the agenda, and I'll make it fast, I know it's getting late. We need to make a cash transfer. I need approval to transfer, from additional REU to sewer pool. The 590,000,003.2 additional REU, I wanna reduce it by $110,000 and put it towards the 590,000,001.02, the pool sewer operating, and increase that by $110,000. Right now, the sewer pool account is short, and we need to transfer those funds to make sure that it's not. So I make a motion.
I'll second that.
What is it, 590,000,001?
That's the sewer pool.
Oh, that's where you want it to go.
Yes.
In the board packet, it was dated 11/6, but when they looked at it the day before the meeting, it was a different dollar. So it was lower today than it was in the board packet.
What is it today?
It was a 149, something, and then there was another one that we had to do was 320, I think.
$320 even, I have it, Chris, we got the.
All right, so now
When does the next billing go out?
Friday. Oh, the next meeting.
Sewer bill? Yeah, that's the end of December.
So we're short 109 and something,
So I'm going to start with strong.
Should you do a little bit more? You're gonna have probably some other invoices coming in prior to receiving your next O&M. That's just throwing it out.
Aren't all of our invoices are ran through USDA and
No, your heat and hunt and all of that. That's what I'm pretty sure.
electricity.
Okay.
That's what, $1,000 in sewage today?
What's that?
Your maintenance for sewage today?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Transfer more than that 110.
What are we talking?
Just to verify, the 14, all of that was transferred already, Lori, that we talked about last month? Make it. It's all the sewer monies, so I would say it's like 150. I mean, if you got $40,000 already today.
Figure it out.
Doesn't hurt, it's not gonna hurt anything if it's.
No, and it,
You have $47,743.83 you approved today. For sewer.
170? 47, yeah, 150. Let's just do 170. And then what was the 320? $320 or the
It
20,000?
wasn't even $20, it was a journal entry that, Chris had found as we were reading through old stuff and getting it moved to.
From,
She's got the, you want the transaction, let me get this out.
oh, I see. Right, so your motion is, Laura, to move 170,000 from additional RU to sewer pool. And is your support on that, Jen? Did you support that?
Yes.
Any additional discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Okay, now we have board comments. I just want to say congratulations on your first year. Well done. Yeah, thanks, Dawn. And,
This is a lot of work, this is a lot more work than I realized. I like it, don't get me wrong.
you have to be in the office to know.
yeah,
That's what I said the last time I worked here. I never had any idea how busy these offices are until I worked here with you guys. I was just flabbergasted.
motion to adjourn.
Yes.
Thank
This, and I went to go grab a ball,
Just give you the greatest.
Yeah, so it's stiff. I'm actually fine if I'm standing up. Go ahead and move forward. No, I had it on before I went to I should do less, but I can't.
But I seriously did, when I said to them, "Can you give it to me?" I said, "Doctor." So, just promise me you won't go in my office and take anything. You've got my phone number. And that's my next phone. Call Dawn. Dawn didn't go one day of our cell phone numbers. Dawn's like 5 minutes away, so if anything happens, I'll work. Dawn already said,
Text message.
I'll turn the server.
kind of blew me away a little bit.
Always Lori makes a copies of that.